This is section 9.5 where we're factoring trinomials x squared plus a number times x plus c. You can review your FOIL ideas up here as we talk about what FOIL is, but let's talk about how we factor and reverse the process of FOIL. Remember, we're going to multiply the number in front of the x squared by the last number. If there's no number in front of the x squared, it's understood to be 1. So all of our problems today, the number in front of the x squared is going to assume to be 1. If that helps, draw it in. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to list all the factors of the c term and add them together. And we're going to use the chart at the right on the bottom. Then we're going to look for two of the factors that add up to the b term. After we do that, we're going to replace that middle term with the two new terms and then factor by grouping. And I'll show you how to do that. So let's look down here at the bottom at my example that I've done for us. We're going to look for the factors of 10, because that's the c term, that adds to 7. Well, we're going to be very methodical. We're going to say 1 times 10 is 11, 2 times 5 is 7. That's the one I want. So I'm going to replace the 7x with a 2x and a 5x. Then I'm going to look at the front half and I'm going to say x plus 2x. What's the GCF? Well, you can see I took that GCF out right here. When I look at that just like so, I say, well, that's x plus 2 left. Now I'm going to put a box at the back half and put another x plus 2 there. We'll understand why we do that later. For right now, just go ahead and do it. Ask yourself the question, 10 divided by 2 is what? Well, that's a positive 5. And so the box is positive 5. So now I have my answer, x plus 2 times x plus 5. Let's try some examples on our next page. Our first example is y squared plus 9y plus 20. Well, to do this first, we're going to take the factors of 20 that add to 9. 1 and 20 is 21. 2 and 10 is 12. 4 and 5, those add to 9. So I'm going to replace the y squared with 4y and 5y. I look at my first two and find my GCF. That GCF is just a y. Now I say to myself, y times y is y squared, and y times 4 is 4y. Now I'm going to put my box down, and I'm going to repeat the back parentheses and put down y plus 4 in those as well. Let's try to figure it out. 20 divided by 4 is 5, and let's put a plus in there for clarity. So here we go. The answer is y plus 4 times y plus 5. Let's look down at number 3. We're going to do it exactly the same way as we did before. Factors of 30 that add to 13. 1 and 30 add to 31. 2 and 15 add to 17. 3 and 10 add to 13. As soon as we found it, we circle it and choose that, and then we're going to split up the 13a into 3a and 10a. There, we've done it. Now we look for our GCF. Between a squared and a, 3a is just an a. What's left on the inside? A times a plus 3 equals a squared plus 3a. Now let's put our parentheses at the back with an a plus 3, and let's put a box in there. 30 divided by 3 is plus 10. How can you check it? Is 10 times a 10a? It sure is. So let's write our answer. A plus 10 times a plus 3. Let's continue on down. Our next one has a minus sign in it. That's going to provide a little bit of a challenge, but really not that big a deal. Once again, it's factors of 18 that add to negative 11. This is our first one with a negative. Well, 1 and 18 add to 19. 2 and 9 add to 11. And this is where we can start to look for one of our unusual circumstances. When the number you're looking for is opposite of what you have, 11 versus negative 11, change the signs of each of the problem. Negative 2 and negative 9. And now let's continue like before. K squared minus 2k minus 9k plus 18. We look for our GCF of the first two, and that's k. Can you think what goes in there? Did you think k minus 2? I hope so. Once again, what's going to go in our back parentheses? K minus 2. 18 divided by negative 2 is negative 9. So our answer is k minus 9 times k minus 2. Our last problem on this section, what multiplies to 36 that adds to negative 15? Our factors, 1, 36, that's 37. 2, 18, that's 20. 3 and 12, that's 15. That's the opposite of what we want. So let's take the opposite of what we have, and that will give us our correct answer. Break up the 15m into our two new answers, 3m and negative 12m. What's the GCF of the first two again? Did you see that it's m? I hope so. That leaves us with an m minus 3. What's going to go in the box? 36 divided by negative 3 is negative 12, which leaves us with an answer of m minus 12 times m minus 3. The m minus 3 could have been written in the front just as easily. This concludes the end of part 1.